Good morning, boys and girls of the internet. Today is Friday, November 23rd, 2018, vlog number 326. And I just finished watching this show called Outlaw King. It stars Chris Pine, which you'll know from, he's in a lot of things, but mainly from the new Star Trek movies. As a couple other actors that are fairly unknown. Directed by David Mackenzie. And it's set, I forget what, it's set like, it tells a story of Scotland's Robert the Bruce, which if you don't know is, he was a Scottish king that, he had to, he was fighting against England, and because at one point in time, England and Scotland, they were at each other's throats, and this movie kind of tells a pretty good story of around that era. If you've seen movies like Braveheart, that era, but Braveheart focuses on William Wallace. This focuses on Robert the Bruce. It's the same time period. In fact, this is not a spoiler, but the sparking point of this movie, things are it opens up pretty good, and it seems like a truce is going on between Scotland and England. But William Wallace gets caught and killed, and that kind of sparks outrage with with the Scots, and it's interesting to see them kind of like have to kind of fight back, but it really shows how much of a struggle it was for Scotland to fight against England. Now, I'm not sure how accurate this movie is, but Robert the Bruce, he was a real person. These kind of events did happen. I don't know, they probably didn't happen to this extent, but I'm pretty sure it was fairly kind of close to history, which I kind of like. And this is a Netflix original movie, and that being said, I'm still kind of in the mindset that it's a Netflix movie. How good can it be? But they can make pretty good movies. I'm pretty sure they're at a period right now where they're like Hollywood. They make certain movies, but they don't. Maybe they don't want to make certain other movies that are that they can put in theaters because they don't think it can make money, but Netflix options them instead. Because this whole thing with trying to option certain properties and Hollywood right now, when it comes to putting movies in theaters, either it has to be a sequel, a reboot, or something that will generate Oscar buzz. That's pretty much all they have right now. But at least Netflix, they take risks, it looks like, and they make stories that are unique. Now, this movie, again, like I said, I wasn't expecting much, but it is surprisingly well made. It was, the environments, different, lands they go to. Of course, I'm sure this was all filmed in Scotland. It looks very authentic. It looks very, like old Scottish castles and stuff like that. And set designs for the interiors are freaking immaculate. Costume designs down to the T. Fight choreography. There's some, wars going on here, and it's brutal. And here's one thing that always when they show movies like this, or any type of even TV shows, where like say like a knight or something, a warrior is on a horse, and there's all kinds of arrows going around or people swinging swords, the horses never get hurt. Which of course it makes sense. You don't want your real life horses to get hurt. This one, they did a really good job with. I don't know if they CG'd the horses or something, but they showed them getting hurt like they really would have. In fact, there was a scene where the guy was like teaching a group of other Scots warriors how to take down a mounted warrior. He's all like, if you run up to the horse, stab the horse first, and then grab the guy, like, and um, it, that's what they did, because the horse back then was a bigger target, and in fact, like, if a horse is charging at you, if you're on the ground, the horse is like you're really your only target. Its head is pretty much covering up the guy. The guy's gonna be cut, cowering behind the horse's head. Take out the horse. That's why I love out like they even show some of the more armored soldiers on at least on England's side of the horses. They had breastplates on the horses. They had horse armor. Downloadable content only. Let me know if you get that reference. But they did a really, really good job. And they didn't shy away from the brutality of it, of course. When a horse got stabbed, you see like a cut in the horse. I'm sure that was all CG. Again, you can't hurt animals. I don't wish animals to get hurt in movies, but it really did a pretty good job, a very good job with showing the brutality of wars back then. You're gonna cut a horse if it's in your way. People get cut. It's bloody. There's 1.5 scenes of nudity in this movie. You almost see Chris Pine's junk. So if you're really into that, go ahead. The cast is all pretty good. The only thing is that other than like your main, character Robert the Bruce, maybe I wasn't paying attention all that much, but you knew about like King Edward at the time he was a British king. Other than that, it was hard to kind of remember some characters' names. Robert's wife was named Elizabeth. That's the only other name I remember. And I mean, it's interesting that if you don't know the history of it, Robert the Bruce's wife is like the goddaughter of King Edward. So they kind of they tried to like mend fences like that and say, hey, here I present to you, one of our girls, and that'd be your new bride and stuff. So that kind of thing happened all the time. But overall, I mean, this movie is very well made. The actors did a really good job with showing that how hard it was to kind of, once Robert the Bruce is like kind of he rebelled against England, shows the brutality of what England kind of did back, going to little towns instead of just slaughtering people trying to find Robert the Bruce. And I mean, you even see this one scene of a guy not only being hung, but also being gutted, and those guts like spilled out. It's pretty sick. So no shying away from the brutality of it in there. And no doubt, that kind of thing did happen back then. And it really goes to show that give some of these Netflix movies a chance. There's a lot of movies that Netflix makes are original. Some maybe not so good, but they get a pretty good track record so far. Yeah, for a while, like Netflix has kind of just started making like their own shows, but them making movies, hey, they're no slouch at it. So definitely check out this movie. I was kind of interested in this movie because I like history, I like historical type movies, and something about Scotland. Scotland is a beautiful country. I'd love to go to Scotland one day, and its history is very interesting. So yeah, check it out. See what you think. It's on Netflix now, so it's not like you have to. If you have Netflix, almost everybody does. Just go watch it. I'm pretty sure most people will enjoy it. So again, let me know what you think. That's it for my little review of this movie. I tried to keep as spoiler-free as possible, but oh well. I'm sure this movie came out a couple weeks ago, so I'm sure a lot of people have seen it already. That's it for today. So we'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. I love you.